Good morning, Commissioners. El Paso County has annual requirements to contract with an independent auditor to review our financial condition. And today we have with us Cheryl Wallace from Reuben Brown. She's the partner in charge of the Reuben Brown Public Sector Group to present our audit.
Good morning. As Sherry mentioned, I'm here to present the results of the 2017 financial statement audit and what we call a single audit. I'm going to hit a few key points to go over with the commissioners. If you have any questions, please stop me. I'm here to answer all and any questions. So number one, I think it's important to understand when we do an audit, what are the standards we follow? We follow generally accepted auditing standards, just like any other independent auditor. However, El Paso receives over $750,000 in federal funds. So you not only receive an independent audit on your financial statements, which is known as the CAFR, the Comprehensive Financial Report, but you also receive an independent audit on your federal funds with respect to compliance and controls with respect to those that we tested. We did issue an unmodified opinion on the financial statements, and we issued an unmodified opinion on the federal funds. What does that really mean? Unmodified opinion, that's changed lately. It used to be unqualified. Clean opinion, that's a good thing. So you had a very clean opinion, unmodified opinion on your financial statement results and your reporting and on your federal funds. That doesn't go with without a lot of time and effort from the county. We are required to let you know if there's any other information required in the Comprehensive Annual Financial Report, and there is none. We plan and scope the audit. I would tell you we plan and scope it in several stages. Some people like to think that the auditors just come out once a year. We're here a lot. We're here working with the departments and the program managers and the financial team. We plan and scope the audit. We're out here in September. We also come back out in January, and then we're out here in April and May. We're here a lot. We're to let you know if there's any qualitative aspects. What does that mean? That means the county changed how they're recognizing revenues and expenditures or valuing your assets or recognizing liabilities. You had no change this year. We had no transactions that we noted that lacked authoritative guidance or no transactions that crossed period. That's a good thing. We're also supposed to let you know if there's any estimates included in your Comprehensive Annual Financial Report. You do have some estimates. You have estimates that are standard and typical for a county. Those estimates relate to what we would call your infrastructure, because you have capital assets. So you have estimates with how long those assets are going to last, and then you charge kind of a replacement cost, and we can talk later about whether that's truly a replacement cost that's getting charged through depreciation. But you've got an estimate. You also have pension, and with pension becomes estimates because you're relying on actuarial information and savings and cost adjustments within there. You have other post-employment benefits, which is also an estimate, which you're relying on actuaries. All these are standard and typical for a county. We're to let you know if you have any complex transactions. Complex, what we mean is kind of off-balance sheet financing, and you have none of those. There is some complexity with the other post-employment and the pension calculations. We're to let you know if we had any difficulties encountered during the audit, and I want to stop here and say we absolutely had none. I would tell you we are also out there with your program directors because you have federal funds and because a lot of your processes and controls start with your program departments and then end with your finance team. We go through a lot of departments. And everybody at El Paso County is very open and welcoming to auditors, which you don't find every day, so we thank them. We're also to let you know if we had any disagreements. We had none. We do ask management to sign a representation letter. It's basically saying, hey, when we asked you for all contracts, did you give us everything? We are also to let the commissioners know if there were any corrected or uncorrected misstatements. What does that really mean? That means, did we have any adjustments to your financial statements? Why do you care and why is that important? First and foremost, we had no adjustments, which is a good thing. Why do you care? Because you're getting financial information that's reported to you throughout the year. And what you don't want to have happen is an audit to come in and have significant changes to that financial information. So what the commissioners can rely on is that you're getting great and good information to base your decisions on, because the audit didn't come in and find any adjustments. And that goes with a lot of effort from your team. We're going to let you know if we had any consultations needed to perform the audit, and we had none. And we have no other findings or information that we need to disclose to the commissioners. I do want to stop for a moment and kind of talk about what do the next few years look like. So at this point, if you kind of compare, this is your comprehensive annual financial report. It's a 162-page document. It's gotten thicker over the years. You do follow governmental accounting standards pronouncements, and they've been quite busy. And they have issued new reporting requirements that are going to affect El Paso County. And your team is well positioned. They know they're out there, but it is going to take some time and effort, and the comprehensive annual financial report is going to get bigger as a result. You have new accounting and reporting for your other post-employment benefit plan. You have new reporting with respect to leases, and you have new reporting with respect to fiduciary funds. And those three items come into effect in 2018, 2019, and 2020. So for the next 3 years, the document will be growing and changing. That concludes my presentation. Are there any questions?
Any questions? Commissioner Littleton.
No questions, just a couple of comments. You know, having been a county commissioner now for 8 years, I know that over the course of our time here on the board, we've seen, you know, our staff tighten down, modify, make sure that, you know, every dime and penny is accounted for, because what you say is accurate. We do base decisions on information that comes from here. Are we being good financial stewards with every dime that's entrusted to us by the taxpayers? Is it going where we say we're going to go? Are people being accountable for it? And I think that, you know, Commissioner Glenn and I can say over the course of the years, I've appreciated that we've tightened those categories even more, so that we can really be very specific with every single elected official and their budget and have their expenditures as well. Thank you.
Commissioner Vanderwerth.
Yes, and being obviously one of the newer commissioners on the board, it has always appeared to me to be kind of a pretty tight process, so I do appreciate that. Appreciate also the perspective from perhaps where things were 8 years ago. I do have a question, though, with regard to the changes in the reporting requirements for government accounting. What is driving those? I mean, that's probably a nationwide kind of thing that's going on. And what is driving those changes? Have they found deficiencies in government accounting standards and they're trying to fix those? Or what is it?
So I can try to articulate, because the board is made up of a lot of gentlemen and women that kind of see a lot of the reporting nationwide. However, as partner in charge of public sector, I've had the opportunity to testify and give our opinion and input into some of those requirements. I would tell you, with respect to the pensions and the other post-employment benefits, what really happened triggered in 2008 with the downturn of the economy. And there was some high-profile plans that were unfunded, and as a result, when those entities were no longer able to fund the retirement plan, it became apparent to the governing body that the current reporting of that needed to change, that it needed to add literature and information to give people that are sitting on the governing bodies more information to look long-term rather than short-term as to what are the contributions required today to make, and in long-term, what does this look like for the plan long-term? So I would say that as a result of some of the economic changes that we've experienced from 2008 to today, the governing body is reacting to that. One of the leases is now saying, you have a right to use an asset, and so you're no longer going to be paying rent expense, even though you kind of are from a financial reporting. We want to have that asset on the balance sheet so that people have that asset looked at, and a related obligation so that every reader of the financial statement understands that there's that long-term commitment out there. Did that help answer that question?
No, that does help, and it seems like at least one area where there are changes taking place. It's with regard to pension funds and retirement funds and so forth. So I would imagine that our team that's managing that is either has been already or will soon be apprised of those changes so that they're positioned to accommodate that so that we have a great opportunity for another outstanding report next year. And I just look for confirmation that that's going on. Okay, thank you.
And I can tell you that they're on top of it because they call us and say, let's talk about this new standard we're going to implement in 2 years.
Excellent.
Any other questions? Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.
And Commissioners, we have one other item to show you that's related to the CAFR. In the past years, other counties and municipalities have presented a popular annual financial report. And as Cheryl stated, you know, our audit's getting bigger and bigger every year, and it's difficult for citizens to really review it. So if I can have the overhead, Nikki's going to go through our popular annual financial report.
Not the overhead, though. Let's go through the PDF.
Oh, the PDF, okay.
Yeah.
So she's
Thanks,
going
Blake.
to go through what we've put together to help the citizens review our audit.
All right. First
Question here before you start, Commissioner Vanderwerf.
I might be jumping the gun here, but is this the report for those that are not financial analysts so that they can
Yes,
understand what's going on? Thank
exactly.
you. Okay.
This report is designed for people who don't have a background in public finance. But before I start, I just wanted to give a shout out to our accounting team. They're sitting here in the audience. And this group is in charge of the final accounting for all the county public health. And they do an amazing job. And I just wanted to give a big shout out to them. Ronnie Hensey is our accounting manager, and then her team is all here. So say hi, guys.
They look so happy.
They are definitely a rock star group, and I know we recognize them every year when we get our award for this CAFR. So this CAFR that Cheryl just talked about will be presented to GFOA for a distinguished award for excellence in financial reporting. But we think it will qualify. It's a great product. This report that I'm going to talk about, the popular annual financial report, this is the first time the county has done this. And it's an attempt to make our financial statements more readable, more user-friendly, for people, like I said, who don't have a background in public finance, who don't understand the things that we spend hours reading through GASB standards, right? So this is something that, first I want to give a shout out to Liz Stokes with our accounting department. Her and Joel with our public information office did the most of the work on this, and I think it looks amazing, and I'm super proud of it. So the report, and I'll just slide through here, here's you guys, really quick, it takes some of the information directly from the CAFR, but makes it more user-friendly. It talks about some of the things that we've done, and we're planning on using this report as a public information piece. We'll hand it out at the fair. It'll be on our information stands when people want more information on the county. So this is our general fund summary. So instead of the pages and pages that make this up in the CAFR, we have a summarized statement for the general fund. And then more narrative that is user-friendly. In the CAFR, we're limited to what we can and can't say and what we have to say. This, we have a little more freedom in explaining things. So this will talk about our general fund summary, our revenues. It explains the TABOR initiative that we had in 2017, which was from our 2016 TABOR revenues. Talks about our revenues by type in a better graphical format. Our expenditures by function, and you see here the public safety is the primary thing we spend money on. And then we can actually talk about our 2018 budget. In our 2017 CAFR, we're not allowed to talk about the 2018 budget except for a very minor amount. With this, we're able to combine results of last year plus what we're going to do next year. And then the last 3 pages of this, we were able to highlight some of the initiatives that the county has. Obviously, one of our priorities in our 2018 budget is infrastructure, talking about a couple of the major things that we're working on in our infrastructure budgets, the innovation that the county has, and then our Citizen Connect application and initiatives to get our citizens more engaged with what we're doing. So that'll be available for all of our citizens. It'll be available online as well as in printed copy for if anybody wants a copy. So just thought we'd let you know about it.
All right.
Thank
Any other
you.
questions? Great job to you and your team, I tell you.
Thank you.
And do you have any other questions?
Any other questions? Oh,
I just noted that all of those auditors and financial people back there are very shy. You had to ask them like 3 times to raise their hand. So, but I'm glad you all are here, and thank you for the great work that you do. It's a very, very important, as my colleagues have stated, to have good annual audits. It means a lot to me that we get a clean audit. I do not like it when we have bad audits. Those have other repercussions that are unhealthy for everybody, but really, when that happens, it's we hurt our own residents, we hurt our own citizens. So I'm very glad that we are not only have great auditing, but that we have great processes in the county that allows an auditor to find a clean audit, because that's also very important. So thanks for what you do.
Commissioner Littleton.
Thank you. So we can make yet one more challenge, and we can have some of our auditing and/or our budget align with what Tim Wolken is so familiar with, and that is our strategic plan. Because really, that's what we promised the citizens we would do, is spend money on those things that are within the El Paso County strategic plan. It'd be interesting to make that connection someday. I'm not going to ask you to do it anytime soon. I'll be long gone. But we appreciate those staff members that actually do, on their agenda items, put this aligns with strategic plan, goal A, strategy B, objective C, whatever it is, so that we can let people know that we were thoughtfully spending the funds that were entrusted to us.
Yes.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you.
I think that's it. Thank you very much.